and we'll get going. So if you come down onto your mats, nothing's as simple as we'd like it to be. So if we come down on the mats and just allow ourselves to settle, I suppose. So if you have the soles of your feet flat to the floor, knees are bent, and just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. So just maybe lift up one shoulder at a time, just rock a little bit from side to side. And we're just going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. And maybe have the palms so they're facing each other, the elbows are soft, and there's space between the arms as well. So all we're going to do at first, you're just going to take the arms, keeping the right shoulder down, take the arms a little bit over towards the left, bring the arms back up, keeping the left shoulder down, take the arms over a little bit towards the right. So the right arm might come onto the floor, but the left arm is just going across the body. Bring the arms up, keep the right shoulder down, maybe turn your head to the right, as you take your arms over towards the left, but the right shoulder really stays rested on the floor. Bring the arms back up, take the arms over towards the right, maybe turn the head to the left, and your left shoulder really stays heavy on the floor. The right arm might come down, and then bring your arms back up. Now stay there for a few moments. Be aware of your breath coming in. And as you breathe out, just let your arms come back down to your side. So we're just going to bring up the shoulders with these ones. We're going to breathe in, we're going to take the arms up. And as you breathe out, just bringing your arms back down to your side. So just nice and easy really. The in-breath takes your arms up, but really be aware of the weight of your shoulders resting into the floor. And the out-breath brings your arms back down to your side. In-breath takes the arms up, and this time as you breathe out, if possible, take the arms on the floor above your head, and the elbows are wide and the hands rest on the floor above your head. In-breath takes the arms up, out-breath brings your arms back down to your side. So if you close your eyes and just work with your breath, so the in-breath takes the arms up, the out-breath takes the arms on the floor above your head. So we're slowing it down, and we're just with the idea that really there is nothing else to do. So the in-breath takes the arms up, the out-breath brings the arms back down to your side. So we're trying with these practices just to find a bit of a respite from the usual doing and completing of doing and of lists, and always thinking that we have to do more in order, in a sense, to be better, or to be liked. When really, you're perfect just as you are. And as we bring our attention to the in-breath and the arms rise, and the out-breath and the arms lower, it's just with that idea that when we know that there is nothing else to do, that we are just right as we are, we can rest a little bit more. And in that rest, we heal ourselves, or we just improve our sense of well-being. And the next time your arms go on the floor above your head, if it's okay, stay there. Now breathe as you need to. And see if it's okay, just let your knees just rock a little bit towards the left. But notice how your right shoulder feels. Bring the legs back, or knees back up, and let your knees rock a little bit towards the right. Knees come back up, let the knees rock a little bit towards the left. And as you're rocking the knees from side to side, really being aware, and with your attention being aware of how your shoulders and the upper part of your spine feel. So we're just trying to work into that area. We're trying to rest the area around the upper part of the shoulders, the upper part of the spine, the jaw, the neck, and the head. And then when you're ready, your knees come back to centre. Stay there. You're going to draw the knees in towards you. Lightly place your hands on top of your knees. You're not pulling the knees, you're not forcing, you're not pushing. And you're just going to rock your knees from side to side. Just noticing how that feels, just easing into the knees and the lower back. So then when you're ready, just come to centre, take both hands underneath the right knee, ease the right knee down, place the left foot on the floor. Circle the right ankle, a few times one way, then the other way. Maybe move your head and make sure your jaw is soft as well, so you're concentrating but you're not frowning. And then if it's okay, just give the foot a bit of a shake. As though you were, imagine if you were a child and you said to a child, just shake your leg. Imagine what they do. So really letting go of the foot. And then stop, and then we're going to keep the knee quite close and just take the foot up towards the ceiling. Again, circle your ankle, and if it clicks or makes a sound, that's okay. Ankles can be really tight. Circle the other way, and if by freeing our ankle, mobilising our ankles, that really helps with our knee joints, and it really helps with our hips and ultimately the spine. Point the toes away, so you're going to feel that length in the front of the ankle. Draw the toes towards you. You feel the length in the back of the ankle, or the sort of around the Achilles tendon, the back of the knee, and the hamstring. Point the toes away, draw the toes towards you. And if you place your hands on your knees or your thighs or your calves, you can feel those muscles or those ligaments or those bones working in your leg. So we're using the foot to wake up to the leg, and it's really good for varicose veins and poor circulation around the knees and around the ankles. And then stop. Take your hand around the back of the thigh, the right thigh, and just ease the leg down. Is it lovely? Now if you sink down into the left foot, sink down into the left foot to ease the right leg a little bit lower. Maybe take your hand a little bit higher towards the ankle. Use the left foot, the foot that's on the floor, to encourage the right leg to come a little bit lower. You can circle the ankle again, a few times one way, then the other way. By releasing the ankle, we encourage the hip to free up a little bit. So ease the leg, perhaps you can ease the leg a little bit lower, and then let go. When you bring the right foot back onto the floor, just roll onto the outside edge of the right foot to let the right knee drop out to the side. Let the right knee drop out to the side. And then roll back. Bring the right foot down so you've got the base of the toes down, the heel down, and draw the left knee in towards you. Take your hands underneath the left knee. We're going to do the same on that side. Circle the left ankle. A few times one way, and then the other way, just circling the ankle. And then when you're ready, give the leg a bit of a shake. It's a really good way. When you shake the leg in this way, it's almost though we can just get rid of all the tension that accumulates around the lower half of our body. So just go shaking the leg away. If you've had an injury, like a sprain or a break in your ankle, then obviously you be careful. And then stop. Just take the leg up. So if you place your hands on the knee, and left knee, and as you circle the left ankle, feel that connection in the knee. Circle the other way. As you point the toes away, feel the length through the front of the leg. As you draw the toes towards you, feel the length in the back of the leg. Point the toes away, draw the toes towards you. Point the toes away, draw the toes towards you. But your awareness and your attention is on what's happening with your leg. So we're working the ankle and the foot in order to wake up the leg. Which sounds a bit weird, but it is how it works. And then stop. Let the hands lightly rest around the back of the left thigh. Now, resist any urge to really pull or to force yourself, but let the weight rest down into the right foot as the left leg comes a little bit lower. The weight rests down into the right foot, so use the right foot down far, far away to ease the left leg down. You can take the hands a little bit higher up towards the ankle, just to encourage that leg to come a little bit lower. Now you're not pushing the leg away. If anything, think of there's a weight on top of that foot and you're easing the leg down, drawing the leg back towards the knee, drawing the knee back towards the hip, and ultimately the hip coming back in towards the spine. Draw your chin slightly down, widen your shoulders, be aware of your breath, and then when you're ready, let go. Bring the left foot back onto the floor, roll onto the outside edge of the left foot, let the left knee drop out to the left. So if you keep that movement going down into the right foot, that just encourages the inner thigh, the left inner thigh, to open a little bit more. Then bring the knees back. So soles the feet flat to the floor. Going to take the right arm across the body, and maybe take the right hand round the back of the left shoulder, left arm across the body, hand round the back of the right shoulder. So you're really crossing the arms and easing into the back of the body, breathing in. And as you breathe out, go wide with the arms, palms facing up, and then just let your knees drop to the left, and if it's okay with your neck, turn your head to the right. So really let the left side of the ribs, the left hip, the left knees be heavy. Only one knee on the left. Let the knee be heavy, so you're really resting down into the left side of the body and into the right side of the head. So you've turned your head to the right. Feel the length down the left side of the neck. So shift your attention to all different places. Because your attention on this moment, so what you're feeling now, brings you present, allows you to be present, I should say. Bring the knees back up. Left arm across the body, hand round the back of the right shoulder. Right arm across the body, hand round the back of the left shoulder. Breathing in, breathe into the back of the body, opening up between the shoulder blades, breathing in. As you breathe out, go wide with the arms. Breathe as you need to, let your knees drop to the right, and if it's okay, turn your head to the left. Feel the weight of your body rest down into the right side of the body, the right ribs, the right hip, the right knee, and feel your breath in the left side, breathing in And as you breathe out, really let your body rest down, down, down into the right side of the hips, the right ribs. But can you feel the weight of your left, the side of your left, the side of your head, the left side of your head, the length down the right side of your neck, and the weight of your body being given to the floor. So you don't have to hold on or grip or strive or do anything, but feel. And then bring your knees back up. Stop there for a few moments. Just settle. Feel the weight of your shoulders and the weight of your hips, the breath in your body, and then just draw your knees in towards you. Lightly place your hands on your knees and rock from side to side, just easing into the muscles in the back of the body. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side, whichever side is good for you, and come to sit up. And we're going to come into all fours. Now, if there's anything going on with your knees, you can roll your mat or put cushions underneath or anything like that. We're going to work to do some shoulder things and some wrist things. So obviously, if there's anything going on with your wrists and it's too much for you, you can come onto the knuckles or you can come onto the elbows, or you just stop. You can have a rest. Right, so first of all, just give your wrists a bit of a shake, and most of us are suffering with our wrists because we're doing more keyboard work than we ever have in our lives. So we're just let the hands gently place on the floor. Take your attention to your right arm and elbow. Just start to circle the right elbow. So can you feel that through the shoulder? Circling a few times one way. Turn your head to the left. Circle the elbow the other way. So we turn our head to the left to make more space around the right shoulder. And then stop. If it's okay, turn your head to the right. Circle the left elbow. And can you feel that in your shoulder? Only turn your head if it's okay, obviously. Circle the elbow in the opposite direction. And then stop. Right, so now we're going to leave the left arm just as it is, if possible, and you're going to carefully bring the right elbow down. If your left elbow bends, that's okay, obviously, but see if you can work without bending the left elbow. So the right elbow comes down. This time, turn your head to the left. It's a really good way of finding those muscles from the left ear all the way down through to the centre of the spine. Bring the right elbow up. Turn your head to the right. Bring the left elbow down, but can you leave the right arm alone? And then come back up. One more time each side. Bring the right elbow down. Turn your head to the left. Can you leave the left arm alone? Try not to sink too heavy into that right elbow as well. It's light. Bring the right elbow up. Turn your head to the right. Bring the left elbow down. And you try not to sink into that left elbow. It's as light as possible. Then bring the elbow back up. And lift up one arm or one hand at a time. And then take your attention to the back of your shoulders. And imagine there's a hand or something on the back of your shoulder. Drawing the right shoulder up to lift the right arm. Then lower. Draw the left shoulder up to lift the left arm or hand. And then lower. Draw the right shoulder up to lift the right arm. And then just continue. So an image that's quite a good one to work with is if you imagine a cat, especially a big cat like a tiger or a lion. If you imagine them walking, if you've seen them on telly or in real life. So if you've seen a big cat walking, you see their shoulder blades at the back of their body lifting. So it's that kind of movement that we're trying to emulate, I suppose, to find that movement coming up through the shoulders. And those muscles and tendons in the back of our shoulders are really tight. So it's a good little movement to kind of work with. And then when you're ready and the hands come down, let's give the hands a bit of a shake. Let's just see if we can do the same things with the knees. So if you've had enough with your wrist, obviously you can come down or come onto your knuckles. If it's okay, lift up the right knee. If that's too much pressure in the left, don't lift the knee. If it's okay, circle the right knee. So this can be done with the knee on the floor if it's lifted, just to get a sense of how that right knee feels. And then we're going to see if we can. Imagine there's something on the back of the hip or your buttock. Drawing the hip up to lift the right knee, then lower. Draw the right hip up to lift the knee, and then lower. Draw the right hip up to lift the knee and lower, and then do the same on the other side. Lift the left knee, give it a little bit of a circle or rock from side to side. Anything to bring your attention to the knee and the connection of the knee, not only to the foot but to the hip. And then draw up through the left hip to lift the knee. So if you imagine there's something on the back of your hip like pulleys or strings pulling the hip up, and that's what lifts and lowers the knee. So we're just trying to wake up, in a sense, these movements, try to wake up the back of the body. And then when you're ready, stop, bring the knee down, lift up one knee at a time, lift up one hand at a time. Come onto the tips of the toes and just carefully ease your hips back a little bit towards the heels, and then send the crown of the head forward a little bit past the hands. Bring the hips back a little bit towards the heels, send the crown of the head forward a little bit past the hands. So you're just rocking forward and back, just easing into the thighs. It's a really good way at mobilising the knees. We don't have to do too much. And then when you're ready, if it's okay, see if you can ease your hips as far back towards the heels as they go, just to lighten the load in the hands. Turn your palms up. The feet can be flat if it's too much of your toes. Turn your palms up, just bring the elbows in a little bit and just fold the fingers in and out, so that just eases into the wrists. And even though this is hard, all these little movements are hard on our wrists, we're weight bearing into our wrists. It's strength, it's strength building. The only thing that builds bone density has been shown is weight bearing. And we don't often weight bear in our wrists, do we? Because we don't walk around on our hands or do lots of handstands. Or you might, I shouldn't say that, you might do that. So when you're ready, come back into all fours. So from here we're going to go into down dog. So we work carefully and we work with awareness and work with attention. So imagine the crown of your head, where the crown of the head is. Imagine the crown of the head moving forward. Find length in the neck. Come onto the tips of the toes. Imagine where your tailbone is. Now imagine the space between the base of your throat and your thighs is as long and spacious as possible and open as possible. Lift up one knee at a time, and as you lift up one knee at a time, can you try to avoid pushing into the hands? We're trying not to push into the hands because the weight goes down anyway. And then if possible, can you lift up both knees, send the weight away from the hands, up through the shoulders, and as your heels go towards the floor, can you imagine the crown of your head moving forward? Now the space between the base of your throat and your thighs is as wide and spacious and open and long as possible because we're trying to find length in our neck and our spine. So we're not trying to make a particular shape, we're not trying to do anything, but just find length. When you're ready, bring the knees back down because that's quite a long time. Ease the hips back towards the heels if possible, or if it's too much with your knees, you can come to sit. So just kind of doing whatever feels right for you. And we're just going to go into it one more time. Oh, so actually, let's just come to sit. All of us come to sit with the legs in front. We just do a little rotation, then we'll just go back into down dog. Down dog is often sort of used in lots of flow kind of yoga as a transition pose, and really it's a really good one to do in its own right. So when we're sitting, you can bend the knees a little bit, take the right hand on the outside of the left knee, and just let the left hand come behind. So think of twisting from the centre of the spine round towards the left. Come back to centre, let the left hand go on the outside of the right knee, take the right hand behind you. Yeah, that's right. So you're twisting round towards the right. Just do that a few times, one more time each time. Just twisting round towards the left. But really, when you go towards the left, can you rest down into the right heel and down into the right hip? So you find that movement through the spine. Come back to centre, just twist towards the right, rest down into the left heel, down into the left hip, and twist towards the right. Come back to centre. Just circle the shoulders around a little bit, move your head, those kind of things. And then we're just going to do down dog one more time. And I started a bit late, so I'll go on another 5 minutes or so. So obviously if you need to leave, then I'm sorry for technical issues. Right, so come back into all fours. So you come onto the tips of the toes. So then again, lift up one knee at a time, just kind of testing the water really. As you lift up one knee at a time, can you do that without pushing into the hands? Can you work that without pushing into the hands? If it kind of feels okay, then just take the hips back a little bit towards the heels perhaps, and then see if you can lift up both knees. And then think of the crown of your head moving forward, past the fingertips as the heels go down towards the floor. Don't think you have to straighten the legs, don't think you have to bring the heels onto the floor. So all we're trying to do is find a real sense of length in the spine. Imagine the weight of your tailbone, the very base of your spine resting down towards the heels, but the crown of the head is moving forward. And then from inside, underneath the ribs, can you lift? So let go of the weight of your head. So we're trying to find a bit of length and a bit of respite around the shoulders, even though, you know, it's a strong movement. And then from here, carefully lift the heels, bring the knees down, ease your hips back towards your heels. So just stop there for a few moments. Down dog is an inversion, so always go with care with these kind of things. You can make light fists to just let the head lightly rest on top of the hands. So the forehead, or the area between the brows, is an acupressure point. So it's a nice way to find a bit of relaxation by putting a bit of, let the head rest down into the fists, or on one fist, or the forehead comes down onto the floor. So whatever you're doing, really having a sense of the centre of your forehead coming into contact with the floor, or your hands. And then ever so carefully coming back up, coming to sit. So just as we did before, but we'll just go in a slightly different way. So your knees are bent, lean back slightly, and this time, instead of what we did before was turn the spine from side to side, now we're going to drop the legs to the right, the knees drop to the right, bring the knees back up, let your knees drop to the left. So slow it down and just having that sense that instead of doing lots and lots of things really quickly to kind of complete a list, we're just trying to do one thing really with awareness. Doesn't have to say we're doing it well, because well, right or wrong doesn't really matter. If your attention is drawn towards what you're doing, then you're doing your best. And then as the knees drop one way, so perhaps the knees go to the left this time, just bring your right hand round in front of that left knee and just turn your spine round, if possible, to look behind. So you find that twist like we did before, but we're going into it in a different way. So we're using different muscles. Come back to centre, let your knees drop to the right. If this is enough for you, don't have to do any more than that. If it's okay, left hand comes round in front of that right knee, turn to look behind you. So now you're finding that twist. And if you take your attention to that left knee, rest down into the left knee, down into the left foot to let the spine turn a little bit more. And then come back to centre. And then we're just going to come back down onto our mat. So we're just going to a small back bend, because down dog and a lot of what we've been doing, they're all to do with flexion or forward bending movements. So we just do a small bridge pose. So if you bring your soles of your feet flat to the floor, if there's anything going on with your knees, your ankle is just below your knee. Or your heel is just below the knee. If your knees are okay, just place your feet in a way that feels comfortable for you. There's space between the knees, space between the feet. Lift the heels up and down a few times, so you know you have that sense of mobility in your ankles, because when we start to lift the spine, the weight will rest down into your feet. So then let the heels lightly rest. Arms can come to rest down by your side, either palms facing down or palms facing up, or you can have your hands on your body, you know, wherever's comfortable for you. But really having a sense of the weight of your shoulders resting, the weight of your head. Now take your attention to your knees and take your attention to your hips. Now the weight of your hips is resting on the floor, but can you somehow now just rest lightly into the feet to send the knees away, to start to lift the hips. So you're resting down lightly into the feet, to send your knees away, to start to lightly lift the hips, and then stop. Your belly is soft, the muscles around the buttocks and around your lower back is soft. The chin is probably drawn slightly down anyway, but really have that sense of the weight resting down into the shoulders, and then carefully lower your hips back down. So we're just going to go one more time. So we try not to push or force or do anything. Lift up one heel at a time. Wiggle the toes to get that sense of connection down through the feet. Now imagine the weight going down into your feet to allow your hips to come away from the floor. Now take your attention to the calf muscles, the calves and the thighs and the backs of the knees. Can you somehow make the space between the calf and the thigh as long and as spacious as possible? So imagine if you place your hands on your thighs, can you lift your thighs? And that will lift your hips a little bit higher. Imagine the knees coming up, not being pushed away from you, but being drawn up. Can you allow the weight of the shoulders to rest down into the floor? And just see, is it possible to take your arms up, but the weight of the arms rest down into the shoulders? Is it possible to take the arms on the floor above your head without changing anything around the ribs? Your belly is soft, you feel your breath. You can feel the weight in the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, and the feet. And when you're ready, ever so carefully, lower. When you lower your spine back down, bring your arms back down, draw your knees in towards you. So just the counter pose is to draw the knees in, because now you're going into a flexion so that you're lengthening the lower spine again. And just rock, if possible, rock from side to side. Just massaging the body into the floor, the muscles either side of the spine. You can feel that in your shoulders, you can feel that in the back of your head. And if it's okay to close your eyes, close your eyes. So just focusing in on the sensations in your body. So you start again to slow down. So it really is with that idea that we're not trying to do anything, because we do things all the time. When we come to our mat, we allow ourselves to come away from that realm into a realm of undoing, I suppose, of just being. And then when you're ready, bring your feet back onto the floor. Feel the connection down through your mat, through to the earth beneath. Let your hands rest lightly somewhere on your body. So just having that light, gentle connection as well. And the elbows are wide and the shoulders can rest. So just for a few moments, just be aware of the weight of your body on the mat, the weight of your head, your shoulders, your elbows, the back of your ribs, your lower back, your feet. And that sense of support that you can find when you just allow yourself to slow down and notice. Be aware of your breath coming in, and just take a deep breath in and then a slow breath out. And we're going to do that twice more. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose if possible, but obviously if it's not, breathe through your mouth. Breathing in through the nose and then slow breath out. And one more time. And then breathing as you do, just as feels comfortable for you. Lightly, carefully, bring your hands up. So make light fists with your hand, just lightly let your hands come to rest on your forehead. So like I was kind of saying before, there's a pressure point, acupressure point in the centre of our forehead. So just lightly let the hands rest on the forehead, just to give a little bit of weight into the back of the head. So it's quite a good one to relieve headaches or tension in the skull and in the head. Move your jaw from side to side without moving your head. Just kind of releasing any tension around the jaw. And then let your lips just gently come together and your jaw to soften. If you need to breathe through your mouth, obviously your lips are open. And then just feeling the pressure or the weight of your hands. As you breathe into the hands, resting on the forehead. And as you breathe out, just imagine that breath travelling down through the body, out through the feet. Breathe into your hands. And as you breathe out, just imagine the breath travelling down through your body, through the shoulders, through the hips, through the legs, and out through the feet. Breathing into your hands, centre of the forehead. And then let the breath leave travelling out through the shoulders, the arms, the hips, the legs, the feet. And when you're ready and you carefully take your arms away, let the arm just come to rest down by your side. And just still feeling the centre of your brows and your forehead, and perhaps a spaciousness now that is there to be experienced. And if it's okay, just let your knees drop one way, doesn't matter left or right, let the knees drop one way. Bring the knees back up and let your knees drop the other way. Bring the knees back up, Draw your knees in towards you. You can lightly place your hands on your knees and just stop there. Not pulling or forcing or anything, but just let the weight of the knees ease down. Draw your chin slightly down, still having that sense of the centre of your forehead, spaciousness between the brows. And just beneath closed lids, just roll your eyes a few times one way and then the other way. Move your jaw. And then when you're ready, just carefully come to rest on your side. So keeping your eyes closed. So just settling for a few moments, keeping your eyes closed. And only when you're ready, opening your eyes and taking your time before coming to sit.